In what ways does your media product use, develop, or challenge for and conventions of real media product? Through this evaluation, I shall be discussing how my media product uses, develops, and also challenges codes and conventions of a real media product. I shall be using examples from other sources and highlighting them through my own production when possible. I shall also be looking at dynamic aspects of my piece and how it differs from others. My main production piece was a music video for an artist called Emily Jane Stancer, and the song is called Emily's Rose. The basic structure is of a narrative/artist based video, as it follows a relationship which seems to be getting worse due to the boyfriend not being able to trust the girlfriend. However, we see the female character cheating on the male character right at the end, showing a plot twist ending. The video follows an open narrative with a multi-strand aspect and an enigma ending. My genre of music is soft acoustic rock, and the primary audience for my artist is young white female teenagers who are going into college or are at college and may hold down a part-time job. They will be coming from working class to middle class families and will also tend to socialise with music as a priority. Branston and Stafford, 1999, stated that each genre has a specific set of codes and conventions, and it is something that I shall explore through this question. Bennett et al., 2006, also said that all media production takes place in light of other media production. I analysed the products in terms of media language, representation and genre, and took note of ideas I could pastiche to my own product. I did this to guarantee that my target audience would understand my preferred reading, Stuart Hall, of my text, which could make my product being successful. The aspects which went into looking at creating a media product meant that research of other real media products had to take place in order to allow codes and conventions to be looked at, and also to start evaluating the pastiche which could potentially come from a media product into my own personal product. I looked at music videos such as Beyoncé's If I Were a Boy, where we see Beyoncé playing a narrative-based video with aspects of her showing a performer as well. The narrative of Beyoncé's video follows a relationship which shows a dynamic factor of her being the police force, breaking the stereotype, Walter Lippmann, 1922, of males being a police officer, and also we see her other half being a receptionist. However, we soon realise that the emphasis that Beyoncé is playing the male character is to understand what it would be like as a male, especially when she starts to find interest in another man. The plot plays on the dynamic binary opposite of male and female who are not playing stereotypical roles until a switch occurs in which we see the stereotype enforced again. By looking at the hybrid aspect towards the video, it was something which I personally wanted to incorporate, as I wanted the artist to be like a narrator throughout the entirety of the video, meaning that she could tell the story while we have a narrative playing at the same time. At the beginning of the video, dismemberment Goffman was used, showing only parts of her body which sexually objectifies her in close-up and medium shots. Richard Dyer said that music videos are used to create a star persona/image of an artist, and in Beyoncé's case she is shown to be a strong, sexually objectified woman. I liked the idea of dismembering a character. However, Bentley, 1997, said that the making of the old is the rearranging of the new, so I decided to use this to create the enigma technique and dismember the second male character at the end of my music video. This built up tension and generated shock for my target audience. Furthermore, I looked at Nina Nesbitt's video Selfies. The video uses a letterbox effect, which is a black strip across the top and the bottom of the video to create a professional look. Using my editing software Final Cut Pro 10, I inserted a letterbox effect of 80mm top and bottom. This resulted in my video looking more like a professional finished product that would appear on websites like YouTube. Because Nina Nesbitt appeals to an audience very similar to the one I was aiming for, I also looked at another of her videos, Stay Out. In parts of the video, the colours are edited to create a visual, cool look similar to the website Instagram, which is very popular and mainstream website for student and young people. I decided to pastiche this idea on my editing software Final Cut Pro 10. I used the Prism colour effect with 45% opacity. This is a common convention for indie music videos because it connects with the younger audience members who are most likely to be consuming the text. One of the other texts we looked at was John Mayer's music video to Free Falling. His video was performance based and had a very relaxed and soulful approach to the video. It made his music appeal real, and down to earth and not based on money or fame, a convention particularly admired in the indie genre. The main way he portrayed this was because of his clothing. His casual shirt and trousers resembled his genuine love for music and lack of interest in the money. I incorporated this into my music video by ensuring all my characters, in particular my music artist, wore casual everyday clothing but also trendy enough to be seen in the popular high street shops. For my ancillaries, to which aided my main piece, CD cover/poster, I decided to look at a range of different covers and posters to add effect and create ideas towards my own product. I looked at Ben Howard's Every Kingdom tour poster, which showed the dates of each performance and also the venues. I thought rather than doing an album poster, if I were to do a tour poster, it would highlight my eyes in how she's getting big, highlighting potential shows that could be sold out due to the high demand, which focus on the convention of an artist being successful. Also, by highlighting the similar genre of acoustic rock, it meant that we could use similar aspects such as font used. However, with Ben Howard's very simple font, it foreshadows the simplicity of his music, which would have been good for my eyes, as her music is also simple and pure, making it fitting when publicising her. Looking at other factors such as the CD cover, I looked at Gabriella Aplin's digital copy of her single collection called Home, which I analysed from iTunes. I looked at the nostalgia-looking photograph of the main cover, which not only highlights the nostalgia but focuses on the Instagram effect, which is something in popular consumption through audiences, highlighting a specific audience which could relate to the one I wanted to look at. Through the research stage of pre-production, we were put into groups which I worked with for my entire production process of creating the music video. Looking at research tasks, we had to look at similar artists what fitted the same criteria for our artist. So we looked at gender, genre, and age. When looking at these factors, it enables us to look at the highlight audience for other particular factors. Finding the common codes and conventions through my research meant that I could successfully create ideas which related to the brief. Two main theories what come to mind when talking about this, one being Pete Fraser 2002, as he suggested that creativity is brilliant but the key to a strong media corporate project is professionalism and organisation. What was meant by this is that when coming up with a new media project, it is really good to have creativity and contribute. However, without any professional standards or organisation, then it will be difficult to get a strong piece together to which will be successful. Researching allows professional standard work to be looked at, meaning that it can pastiche later on if necessary, and also with the organisation it allows for creativity to be used effectively without overpowering or any other factor. The other theory which comes to mind would be Bennett et al. 2006, in which they suggested that all media production takes place in light of other media productions. What is meant by this is that when new productions are created, they will use previous ones to create new, more imaginative creations, which highlights the pastiche being used throughout all media productions. I believe that the common codes and conventions throughout the research task were mainly looking at highlighting Bennett et al.'s theory, as I analysed specific texts which not only highlighted a similar genre but also looking at creating a new and original piece which looks at Pete Fraser's theory with organisation, and by having it, it meant that I could successfully create an initial idea without imitating another production to an incredible extent. A stereotypical narrative for an indie music video would be about a happy relationship between two characters. For example, in Eliza Doolittle and Disclosure's video, You and Me, the linear narrative shows their adventures as a couple, with the two shots reinforcing the romance of the relationship. I then looked at Beyonce's video, If I Were a Boy. The multi-strand narrative makes the video dynamic and engaging, resulting in a video receiving over 129 million views on YouTube. The switch of the character roles include the false hero prop of a male character plays with the audience's emotions. The sympathy switches from the male to the female. We decided this was a good narrative to pastiche because it will engage and intrigue our target audience. According to Todorov, a narrative has a three-stage formula: equilibrium, disruption, and re-equilibrium. The music video was dynamic in that it did not follow this structure. When the characters were in the disruption stage when they argue, the narrative does not turn into a re-equilibrium, but rather a re-disruption, as the female then becomes unfaithful to her partner. By doing this, we were being experimental with our narrative in order to engage our target audience. Our narrative was also unconventional. through the character roles in order to generate a mixture of emotions from our target audience. Like in Beyonce's video, in the beginning of my music video, both characters were protagonists, until they argued through quick cuts in editing, and a black shot at the end of the male was portrayed as an antagonist. As the narrative progresses, the audience are persuaded to take the female side through the mid-shots in dark lighting until it's discovered at the end of the music video that she is the one that being is unfaithful and seen another man. Through this we created a false hero character, Prop, and left the audience in a position of shock and also sympathy for the male character. The narrative and use of character roles, along with the mystery of the story throughout, enigma technique, baths. My music video stands out and looks more unique from other indie videos, yet still conforms by using the binary opposites Levi Strauss of love and hate for a narrative. I found that highlighting a QR code in my poster which takes you to the artist's SoundCloud page is something which at the minute is starting to be highlighted through some artists. However, by allowing it to be able to go to listen to the music free, it breaks the convention of paying for material from an artist and allowing audiences to listen for free, which could highlight the broadening audience spectrum, as audience will want to listen to it for free over paying for it. And if they are given the direct source to which they can listen to it, therefore they are more likely to look at it, whether they be in the target audience or even a secondary one. With aspects such as the video, I believe that the story itself is challenging the use of codes and conventions, as it's highlighting the use of an open narrative with a multi-strand aspect and an enigma ending. What is meant by this is that an open narrative is an opportunity to expand on, but this is meaning for the next video could potentially carry on the story which was shown, which isn't the usual case for a music video, as the convention is that they tend to stay for a closed narrative, being that there is a significant start, middle and end. However, showing the dynamic factor of this allows us to break the convention, but in a professional and creative style. With the multi-strand aspect as well, it allows us to focus on both the dynamic values of the story between the relationship and also the aspect of the artist being part of the video. It allows us to use the story from different aspects, which again isn't the case in usual music videos, as they tend to follow one person's point of view throughout, which again highlights the dynamic factor. Neil, 1990, argues that genres need to be dynamic in order to keep audiences interested, and I think that is something which I have personally tried to show through my approach of how I've shown my piece through specific dynamic factors which highlight not only the genre but also the artist as well. By allowing my music video and ancillary to follow, challenge and develop codes and conventions, it has made my production not only highlight Bennett et al.'s theory, but it has also meant that I have created a piece which has allowed my expression to be shown in a professional and organised aspect through the research stage to allow my production stage to be so effective.